Welcome to Romantic Wednesdays with Poetry. I'm Alisa Agnes, your host, and I believe it's time to get real and spill some tea or coffee. So today I will talk about next two poems from the cycle called Romantic Summer. And the first poem about which I will talk about today is called Ice, Glass and Hate. And the second poem is called There's No Hate, Only a Regret. Well, at first I need to tell you that I wrote one of these poems in 2017, and the second one I wrote during the process of compiling this whole book, and it was a little, thought what this first poem, what kind of feelings and what kind of thoughts it brought in me. So I wrote such a poem, which is some kind of answer after a few years to that first poem. And by the way, I need to also tell you that it's the first episode that I'm recording since my dad passed away. So, I just needed to tell you this. But right now I'm going back to poetry, and in few years I will tell you more about poetry that I wrote lately during this tough time of mourning. But it will come in few years. Right now I'm just focusing on poetry that I wrote during the second era, during the second volume, The Student's Notes of an Ice, and this is what I will talk about today. So at first let me read you the first poem, Ice, Glass and Hate, and then I will tell you a few words about this poem, about the meaning, about the situation that made me write this. So that's Ice, Glass and Hate. I feel this love is frozen, sharp like icy needles caught in my heart. Glassy tears, glassy roses. Only he can make broken, more broken. White ceiling, I'm watching. He's holding someone else in sleep. Stand me up once, stand me up twice. See your hair on the floor. The depth of love. You know what to do to make a girl hate you. What love is for. This dirty snow is like us. God, what happened to us? So it's a very sad poem, as you can see. It's mainly about the love that is, slowly dying. It's getting frozen, and it's made of, images, such images like roses that are frozen, tears that are also frozen. It's about icy needles, and it's also about some images that may be hard to say what it is to you, like the line about see your hair on the floor. I literally wrote this about the situation when the guy just had a haircut. And we always say that when we feel like we need a change, we sometimes change our hairstyle. And he kind of, wrote about this in this poem. And also it's about, moving on, and you just feel like you're frozen because that someone you still love moved on, and this, while you can sleep, this person is sleeping with someone else, and this person at the same time doesn't want to let you go, so they ask you out, but they never show up to those dates. and it happened twice, and this situation is described in this poem, and it's also about anger. I mean, I named this feeling with hate, but later I realized that it was that it wasn't hate, because such a feeling can last only for a moment, and then you realize it was just a regret, and you were just broken-hearted. And well, this is what the next poem is about, but this first poem is ending with such a phrase like you just wonder what happened to both of you, because at first it was a perfect fluff. I mean, snow, white snow, and later this love turned into a very dirty snow. Yep. Okay, so now I will read you the second poem. It's called There's No Hate, Only a Regret. There's no hate, no, it's not. There's only a regret. There's only transatlantic made of ice on the desert, without trees, without oasis, without hope. So yep, that's this second poem, which is some kind of answer for that first poem, and I wrote this few years after that, so as I already said, it's about realizing that it was never really hate, but a very strong kind of feeling called regret, and it's described with this image of transatlantic that is made of ice and it's stuck on a desert, and this desert, as usually happens, is without trees, and sometimes you hope for an oasis, but in this situation there is no such an oasis, so there is no hope. So yeah, this is the description of this feeling that made me write that first poem. And this the second poem I wrote a few years later, and as you can see, it took me a while to understand those very old feelings. Yeah, so I guess that's all that I wanted to say today. So right now I can only tell you what will happen in the next episode. So the first poem about which I will talk next week is called The Love of Nature. It's just about nature. And another one is called From Words to Actions. And this one is a little bit philosophical, as you can probably guess just after hearing this title. Yeah. So, I also need to tell you that I had some problems with microphone today, and at first I didn't hear the recorded sound at all, and right now I can hear it, but it sounds very, very strange, so I guess I will keep on digging to figure it out what is happening with my computer, because I've noticed that my microphone is working on my father's very old phone. So yep, it's probably the problem with Windows 11, I guess. So I guess that's all today. And you know what is happening in the next episode, so right now I can only tell you until the next time. Yep. Bye.